Hey, what's up, comic fans? Mr. Q Comics back with some more show and tell. Okay, today I have got my second haul of 2024. This is a stack of books that I pulled out from a collection I bought about a month or two ago while I was on a business trip in New York. It's a shop I hit up quite a bit, and the owner had pulled out a bunch of low-grade books that he asked if I'd be interested in. He had probably 3 or 4 short boxes, I want to say. It was kind of a mixed bag of stuff. It was a collection he had bought a while back that I'm sure I had bought some books out of, but it was super low grade because it had water damage. The collection was stored in a unit that had a flood or something, so all of these books had some varying degree of damage from water. Not really moldy, but a lot of them just had a lot of debris on them. I guess the drop ceiling in this unit had like collapsed, so everything had the kind of, a lot of it had like the yellow fibers from the drop ceiling. So it was just a mess of stuff he did not want to deal with. He had about 380 books, something like that. And I ended up buying it all. We worked out a pretty good price. Like I said, about 380 bucks. I'll tell you what I paid for everything at the end. I'm going to show off about 25 of the better books out of the collection here. But before I dive in, if you're a fan of haul videos, please do me a favor. Go down below, hit the like button, hit subscribe, and let me know what you think about these books. All right, so again, kind of a mixed bag of stuff. Pretty much all Marvel. A lot of the stuff was kind of throwaway stuff. Some of it's probably totally valueless because it's so beat up. But here's kind of some of the highlights. We will start out with one of the books in better shape, Spider-Woman #1. This one's probably in the very fine range. This is just the new costume and origin of Jessica Drew, Spider-Woman. Joe Sinnott on the cover from 1978. All of the Silver Age stuff is really rough. This is Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. #6. This one's probably in the VG range. This is just a classic Steranko cover. I always love this. One's from 1968. I just think this one's this does not get a lot of love, I don't think. Maybe in higher grades because of the black cover it goes for a bit, but usually a pretty affordable book. But I just love that cover. This one is thrashed. It is Silver Surfer #16. I think it was the only Silver Surfer book in there. This is just a cool John Buscema cover. Obviously, Mephisto battle from 1970. We have got Doctor Strange #170. This is the first cover appearance of Nightmare. It's Dan Adkins on the cover from 1968. This one's probably in a little bit better range, probably in the VG range. There was really not a lot in the mid-grade. Most of it has kind of rust on the staples. Even if they didn't have water damage on the pages, a lot of the staples just got rusted because it was all kind of together. So I've been selling a lot of this stuff off on eBay cheap, kind of run filler, issues of Strange Tales and stuff for less than 10 bucks. So we've got Tales of Suspense #97, first appearance of Whiplash, Gene Colan cover from 1968. Now into some Thor. We've got Thor 132. This is the first cameo of Ego the Living Planet. Jack Kirby on the cover. I'm never a huge fan of the Thor Kirby because it's Vince Colletta on the inks, and it just does not look the same to me as with Joe Sinnott doing the inks. I think Joe Sinnott's inks really made the Kirby art pop. It's very noticeable when it's Colletta on these inks here. But this one's from 1966. And we've got the first full appearance in issue 133 as well. Same team, Kirby and Colletta. There was a good chunk of Thor in there. A lot of it was Bronze Age stuff with not too much value. We've got 136. So this is, I think, the second appearance of Lady Sif. Again, Kirby and Colletta, 1967. And then we've got 137, which is the first appearance of Ulick. Again, Kirby and Colletta on that. So there was a good amount of Journey into Mysteries. A lot of them were really, really beat up. I ended up finding a lot of stuff had cutouts, missing pages. So a good number of the books, probably like 10 or 15, were incomplete. So I think I just threw them in my the antique shop I sell at for like $1. All right, this one's really cool. Strange Tales 151. This is one I always pick up. This is the first Steranko published artwork at Marvel from 1966. This one's not in terrible shape. This one's probably VG. A lot of the nicer books I kind of bagged and boarded right away, so I can't remember the extent of the water damage on some of these. I had to air these things out for a while. I left them in the boxes, no bags and boards, for like 2 weeks. I just took everything out of the bags and boards. I don't know if I mentioned he had stuffed like dryer sheets in with all the boxes to try and mitigate the musty smell. So it was a lot of work going through these. All right, next we got Nova #1. This is origin and first appearance of Richard Rider Nova, Rich Buckler on the cover from 1978. And these all had to be cleaned. I just got some like Swiffer wipes and basically wiped every single book off to get rid of the residue as best I could. Tales of Suspense #55. This one's one of the older books, but really rough shape. Third appearance of the Mandarin on this, and this again, Jack Kirby from 1964. Mostly Marvel. There was some DC, some Bronze. There's some Bronze Age in here as well. I don't have much of it shown off, but this is always a cool one. Tales of Suspense, 63. I think this is the first Silver Age retelling of Captain America's origin. This again is, I think this is Kirby. I think there's quite a few people on the cover here, but I know Kirby, maybe Don Heck, I can't remember. But this one from, excuse me, 1965. Again, rough like all of them. Next we got Tales of Suspense 64. This is the third appearance of Hawkeye. And again, it's Kirby on the cover from 1965. All right, we got a few Tales to Astonish here. This one's just, I thought, a cool cover. I don't believe this is a key at all. This is Tales to Astonish, #55. I just thought it actually was in pretty decent shape compared to the rest of them, and a cool Giant Man cover. This is, again, Jack Kirby on this. I think this one's from 1964. And then I know I've shown this one off in a recent video. This one's way worse shape. But this, again, is Tales to Astonish, #59. This one's really rough. Pen all over the cover. Definitely in the good range. This is just a classic Hulk battle cover. And I think this is the first time Hulk crosses over into Tales to Astonish. This is Jack Kirby from 1964. All right, now we're getting into kind of the better keys that I pulled out. I think there was a couple issues of this. This is a Fantastic Four annual. #3, this is the marriage of Reed Richards and Sue Storm. This, again, I mean, most of this stuff ends up being Kirby, but this is Jack Kirby from 1965. It's funny, notice all the Fantastic Four annuals, at least the first 6 issues, all pretty good sized key books. All right, this one I got in a collection, I think in 2022, that I know I showed off. This is low grade, really low grade like the other one I have, but pretty expensive book. This is Marvel Tales. I guess technically it's Marvel Tales Annual #1. I think the first 2 issues they labeled as annuals, and then they changed it with issue #3. But this has got Kirby and Ditko artwork on the cover. I think the first story is an 11-page reprint of AF-15. This is from 1964, but again, probably in the good, very good range. But this is actually a pretty pricey book, so very cool there. This is a pretty good size key, but this one is really beat up. I think this was in like another box. That's after we kind of agreed upon a price. It's like, oh, I got this over here, another 20 or 30 bucks. You're welcome to these. And this was in it. It is really beat. I mean, it's held together with tape. It's super wavy. But the artwork's pretty complete on the cover. We've got Journey into Mystery #86. So, I don't know. I see this listed as the second Odin and also the first full appearance Odin. And it's also the first appearance of... I am drawing a blank. Oh, first appearance of Tomorrow Man. This is, again, Jack Kirby from 1962. This is actually probably one of the more expensive books out of the bunch here, even though it is really thrashed. It's probably in the fair range, but very cool pickup there. All right, I think There were some DC in there. This is the lone DC book I'm going to show off. We've got Forever People #1, first, I think technically the first full Dark Side. Of course, Jack Kirby from his DC work, 1971. Not terrible, missing a corner at the top, but still a cool key. And this one is a key. I know I showed this off recently too, but we've got another copy of Amazing Adventures #11. This is the first appearance of Beast with fur. I'm always surprised that this one goes for as much as it does. This is one of those oddball key books to me. It's not the first appearance of the character. It's kind of like a costume change to me. I mean, I guess it's more than that because everyone, I guess, nowadays thinks of the Beast with fur. That always stuck. But I do get surprised how much this can go for. But it's, again, first appearance of the Beast with his fur, and it's Gil Kane, 1972. All right, down to the last two here. Next, we have got Conan the Barbarian, #23. Another one that's not in terrible shape, probably mid-grade. A few of them did seem to miss some of the water damage. This one's not terrible. This is the first appearance of Red Sonja, and this is also Gil Kane on the cover. This one's from 1973. And then finally, I don't know if this will end up being the most valuable, but to me, this was the biggest book in the bunch. I saw it immediately and knew I was interested in just buying all of it. This was, yeah, like I said, one of the first ones I saw when I was flipping through. And it was tough to flip through because everything was in its original bags, no boards, sticking together. Really difficult to sift through it all. But it's Doctor Strange, 169, really low grade, but of course the first solo series for Doctor Strange, Origin Retold, and it's a Dan Adkins cover from 1968. So that is kind of the highlights. Again, there was a lot of run filler stuff, a lot of stuff I just been listing on eBay or putting in the antique shop I sell at. You know, there was some Bronze Age X-Men, about 375 books, and we ended up settling on $450, which I thought was fair. You know, I think I was looking to be at 4 and he wanted to be at 5, so we met in the middle. So it worked out to about, you know, $1.20, something like that per book, which I thought was a pretty good deal. There was a lot of work to go into kind of cleaning these up. They all had residue on them, but overall, I was pretty happy. So that is it for the haul, guys. Again, do me a favor, go down below, leave me a like, leave me some comments, and let me know what you think about these pickups.